Hello, this is Mr. Bunker. Today is Thursday, March 19th, 2020. This is a quick update today. So a lot of people are having trouble getting into Zoom, so I'll go over that in just a minute. Also, I have a reminder about the retake and a couple other things. We'll get to all this in just a minute. First of all, the retake, you can do this anytime that you're ready. It is online. It'll say retake for lesson 2 check. You can do that in Jupyter. It's a summative assessment, so you should do this by yourself, and you shouldn't be opening any other tabs or getting help in any way. Also, I saw a couple of people who kind of got into the assessment and then left. Once you start the assessment, make sure that you finish it. Don't stop in the middle and come back later. It doesn't take very long, so you can do it in one sitting. And again, if you're going to retake it, you have to have all your work turned in, and any scores lower than 70% you should redo. Okay, Zoom. Zoom is a conferencing platform that we may use more in the future to do our science class. Now, in order to do Zoom, there are a couple things that you need to know. And one of the things that I'll have you do is before you use this is read this contract and agree to it. There'll be a Google form where you can do that. I'm going to go over it right now, though. I'll read it to you first. It says a Google Hangout / Meet or Zoom meeting room is a great way to stay connected with each other while we are away from school. These two platforms are an online group chat and video conference all in one, and it will include all of our classmates in one chat. You can talk to each other, ask questions about classwork, and keep up with what everyone's doing while we are away. This should be fun. In order to open Google Hangouts and Zoom for our class, there are some guidelines that must be followed. Any student who does not follow the guidelines will be removed from the group chat until I have a conversation with that student's parents or family discussing appropriate online behavior. You may be asking what the Google Hangout stuff is about. That's another platform that we might explore later. We're going to first start, though, just with Zoom because I think it's a little simpler for now. All right, so here's some guidelines. So we want to be kind to each other while we're chatting. So using positive language, encouraging each other, not teasing each other. We're going to try our best to include everyone in the chat. That can be difficult if there's lots of people. There is a feature in the chat where you can raise your hand, and we'll try to show you how to do that if you can't figure it out. Or you can just raise your hand like you do in school, and eventually we will see your hand and talk to you. Okay, there is a chat where you can type in questions or make comments. That's a good way if you have an idea and your screen is on mute that you can get that across. Also, make sure if someone else is talking or has the floor that you're not interrupting. Okay, safe. We always want to be safe online. So personal information like your address, phone number, private email, you shouldn't share while we're in that meeting room. You shouldn't talk about personal information of other students, and you shouldn't share the Google Hangout or Zoom web address with anyone outside of our classroom. That's why it's listed in Google Classroom so that it is safe. Okay, what does responsible look like? You should use this as a place to share school information. Occasionally, like right now, we're just kind of figuring out how it works. So there isn't a whole lot of academic stuff that we're doing on it yet, but that will be coming. You can use it to ask for help with assignments. Okay, don't spam the group chats with repeated messages. So you'll see the little chat as part of Zoom. Again, just saying like hi or stuff on the chat probably isn't a great idea. We want to make sure that we can actually see important comments. And if there's something happening in Zoom that you think is a problem, alert me or whatever teacher is running your Zoom session and they can take care of that. Okay, now I did include some instructions on how to get into Zoom because there was a little bit of confusion yesterday. I think these directions are a little better. Maybe that will help you. So what you would do is you go to Google Classroom, and in Google Classroom, you'll click on Classwork. When you click on Classwork, this will come up, and you're going to go to Remote Learning Tools, Zoom Room for Team 1 Science, and you'll click on that. When you click on that, the first thing I want you to do is to sign that contract, which is basically what I just read a couple minutes ago. So make sure you do that. And once you've done the contract, then you can click the Launch the Meeting Room. Now here comes the tricky part that people had trouble with. Okay, now apparently if you try to install the Chrome extension, it will block you. So don't do that. Instead, click Join from your browser. Okay, you should be able to do that. That is unlocked. Okay, and when you do that, you should get a message like this. And until I open the meeting room, it'll look something like this. At the time of the meeting, this will allow you, a different screen will come up and you'll be allowed to join the meeting. Now, for some reason, those things don't work. Another option, this is under students in the GBCsorg. There's a link to these pages, but I also included a link here that goes directly to this page. This lists all the teachers in our building, has their email. If there's some sort of class link, like if they're using Google Classroom or whatever, that's there. And there's also a link to the online meeting room, which would be Zoom for me. And so if you click that, that should also take you to our meeting room. Hopefully it will all work. We'll keep working on it. It might take a little time to perfect all of this. Last thing, you might be asking, well, when are we going to do some science? That is coming. Tomorrow we'll do something a little more scientific. But for now, keep working on getting into Zoom. I will be holding a Zoom session today at 3 again, and you can go try it out. So I will see you then.